Hello my friends, Aimee Esther here, and in today's video, I am going to be answering your questions. I feel like it's been a while since we've sat down and done a good Q&A. I have so many questions here. In fact, I think I'm gonna have to do a two-parter. So today will be part one of my Q&A. If you have more questions for me, you can always leave them in the comments below and I'll add them to my list for future Q&As. But we got a lot to get through, so let's get started. Hey guys, if you're new here, I am gonna assume you're probably not new here. Q&A, usually if you're here for a Q&A, you probably have been here before. But if not, I'm Aimee and I have several chronic illnesses. You can learn about them all on the links in the description below. And today I'm answering all your questions about life with chronic illness. Let's get started. First off, I get a lot of questions like, will my POTS ever go away? Or do I have POTS? Or do I have fibromyalgia? Or just questions about certain chronic illnesses that maybe I know the answer to. I can share with you my knowledge, but if it's about you personally, no, I cannot diagnose you. I am not a doctor. I am just a woman who suffers from multiple chronic illnesses and shares her journey here on YouTube. And I love sharing tips and tricks with you on how to live with chronic illness. I'm not here to diagnose you. I'm not here to answer questions that should be for a doctor. So if you ask me something that should be asked to a doctor, I'm going to just give my advice to go ask your doctor. If you have any problems on your own, I'm happy to, again, share with you tips and tricks. My goal with my videos is typically to share with you how to live life with chronic illness without changing your pain. So to change your pain, you can go to a doctor, you can try medications, you can try lots of different things. And although I occasionally make videos about maybe like some natural treatments that I do and things like that, I don't like to tell you how to make your pain go away. I like to tell you how to live with pain, because a lot of us, not only do we have this pain, but we can't get rid of it. And we've tried, and it's really hard to get rid of. We're doing all the things right and we're still having a flare up. So that's what I'm making my videos for, is to help you to get through that mentally. How do you get through that? And so those are typically the questions that I stick with. Again, if you ask me about like supplements I take and stuff, I'm happy to share that with you, but I'm not here to diagnose you or tell you what you should or shouldn't do. That is for you and your doctor to decide. So anyway, let's get that out of the way, and the disclaimer that I'm not a doctor, and go talk to a medical professional if you have any questions about that. So the first question I have is, does your husband like the food that you make in your diets, or the non-diets you try? I find sometimes I do have to separate mine and my food from husband and kids. Yes, that is something that's been really hard for us. So if you watched my keto video when I did keto for like 2 days, I was really excited about that because my husband offered to do it with me, which we don't usually do. Usually he does not do my diets with me. And so right now he's loving it because I'm actually not on a specific diet. I have some questions about that. Man, I'm gonna have to do so many parts to this. I'm sorry, I always talk too much, and it's going to be like the longest video ever. So anyway, let's keep going. So yeah, usually he doesn't do them with me, and so I will typically make him something different, or like a variation of what I'm making, or like I will add something to the meal, because a lot of the times he doesn't feel like it's like not enough food for him if I'm just doing like vegetables, because for a while I did paleo, so I ate like vegetables and meat. And that wasn't enough. So maybe I'd make rice for him on the side, or some rolls or something, so that he can be more full. Or sometimes he just makes his own food. We had times where I was on such strict diets that he just made his own food and I made my own food, and it worked out just fine. My husband is totally fine with eating the same thing every day. Like, he's not very, I don't know. He's not one that like expects his wife to make dinner every day, if that makes sense. Like, he's totally happy when I do, and I feel really good when I do. I like making dinner for the family. But yeah, that's usually, we just kind of decide depending on the diet it is. If it's really strict, he'll just make his own thing. But we just kind of talk about it and decide together. Maybe we can do a video about that with him if you guys have more questions for him. And then with kids, kind of the same thing. Usually I'll just kind of make myself dinner. If it needs to be adapted or changed for them, I'll just make them something on the side, but my kids eat mostly the things that I eat. For kids, I feel like it's easier. For my husband, it's almost harder because he's already decided what he likes and doesn't like and what he wants to eat. And with my kids, they're still learning how to eat, So, I don't know. To me, I just kind of take it diet by diet, and it depends on the stage of life we're in, and it depends on a lot of things, I guess, is the answer to that. But, yeah. Hopefully that helped. Okay, has anyone in your family or friend circle been unsupportive of your switch to a dumb phone? If so, what was that been like? So yeah, I don't have a smartphone. I wouldn't say unsupportive. I would say either they kind of make fun of me or they don't really get it, and they'll tell me all the reasons why they would never do it, almost like justifying to me, like, oh, but I need mine for this reason, and like, that's good for you, but like, I need mine for work and for whatever. And I don't really care if people use their smartphone or not. Like, obviously, it's not very popular to not have a smartphone. And so to me, I don't really care if they don't get it because I get it. Like, I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me and my kids, right? So yeah, some people don't get it. I wouldn't say anyone's been like rude about it or like unsupportive in that way. More just like they think it's really dumb and like I should get with the times and I'm an old lady. But yeah, I don't know. To me, I don't feel like I need to explain it to people. I need to get it and no one else needs to get it, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'd like to hear any tips or tricks you have for caring for your children, especially on the rough days. So I had a lot of questions about kids, how to have kids, questions about how to have a newborn. A newborn stage is hard, okay? Let's just be honest. The first year, you just got to get through. I feel like whether you're chronically ill or not, that first year is really hard. And some people just love having babies and they love that phase. I personally love like toddler phase and young kids. Like that's my favorite phase. I love my baby. I have an 8-month-old. By the way, if you're new here, I have an 8-month-old and I have a 2.5-year-old. And although I love my baby, like I said, I still feel like the first year you just kind of got to get through because it's really hard. Sleep is really hard. The energy is really hard when they can't walk. They have to be held everywhere. Just all of that. I think of it just as a phase that you need to get through. And I love them and I have beautiful, wonderful moments with them. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I have moments that I just obsess over my babies and I love my babies so much, but just the energy wise, you just kind of got to get through it. And I struggle a lot without sleep. And so anytime my kids don't sleep, that's really hard for me. But I also just feel like it's part of being a mom. And to me, it's all mental, right? It's all in your head how much you can do. Now, I'm not saying that your pain is in your head and it's not real. Like, you have physical pain, but there are times where I'm in so much pain or I'm so fatigued, but something's happening. Like right now we are moving. And so it's like, even though I'm super fatigued, it's like, well, I have to get this thing done. So I just kind of push through and do it. Even though I feel terrible. And then there are other days where I can kind of take it easier, if that makes sense. And so because it's just my brain, I just have to remind my brain that I can do hard things. I can take care of a baby for a year and then they'll be able to walk and care for themselves a little bit more. Of course, it's not like magic year and then they can do everything, but just, I feel like the first year is the hardest. And then after that, it just gets better exponentially. I should say it just gets easier, not better. I mean, that's the wrong word, but it just gets easier and less physically demanding of you. And so to me, I just remind myself that this is part of having children and I love them so much and it's totally worth it for a year to struggle and 9 months of being pregnant and then a year of really hardness to have the joys of having children. It just evens out, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't really know where this is going, but like my daughter is 2.5 years old and she's like super easy. Like she just kind of plays all day long on her own. I'm there with her, but like she prefers to kind of do her own thing or she prefers to play with her friends outside. And so it just gets easier, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know. You just kind of have to get through it. And so if you're struggling with wanting to have a baby, I think I got a question there. Like, I want to have a baby, but I'm scared. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I'm not going to like sugarcoat it. It's really hard. And like, I'm really sick the first year. I'm still really sick because I'm still in the first year. But it's just worth it, you know? It's like you get that little smiling baby in your arms and you look at them and you're exhausted and your neck hurts and you're tired and you have migraines, but like you get this little human to hang out with all the time, and it's amazing. So yeah, the pros and cons list, it's like the pros are so high that I don't even realize that there's cons. Does that make sense? I don't know if that came out right. Again, I answer these questions way too long. Okay. But specifically, this person asked tips and tricks for caring for them on the rough days. And I would say, one, ask for help. I think I'm going to get a part-time nanny, especially once we move into the new house. Partially for you guys, because I need to get more time to work, because by the end of the day, I have zero energy to work on YouTube videos for you guys. And I don't know. I need it for myself. You know what I mean? I love working on these videos. So, I say get some help, whether it's a nanny, whether it's, family member, friends. And then the other thing I do on the hard days is I just relax. I don't tell myself I need to do more than I should. Like, I don't tell myself I have to do the dishes. I use paper plates on those days. I don't tell myself I have to make them nice meals. We eat mac and cheese some days. Like, I don't know. To me, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal that some days I'm really sick and we lay on the ground and do puzzles all day. Sometimes we eat mac and cheese, or, I get takeout or whatever. We use a lot of paper plates, and I don't feel bad about it because I love my children, and that they're more important to me than trying to not use paper plates, or, I don't know. That's my advice. It's just, you just kind of make it by. You do what you have to. You cut out the unnecessary things. You don't make the bed that day. You don't go grocery shopping that day. You order takeout, or you get your groceries delivered. Like, you find ways to cut out energy. You only have so much energy in your day, right? Say this is how much energy you have, and your children take up this much energy. If you only have this much more, you got to be really careful about what you do with that energy. Maybe you don't shower that day, because for me, showering is exhausting. So yeah, that's what I do. I just kind of, I don't feel bad if I don't do everything perfect, is what I'm saying. Okay, what supplements do you take on a daily basis according to your health issues? I'm not super good at taking supplements. I've tried a million and they never seem to do that much for me. I do take iron because I have a lot of problems with being anemic, so I take iron and B12. I take vitamin D because I get really sick in the sun, and so I don't get a lot of sun, so I do take vitamin D. I take a high-quality fish oil. I don't know if it does anything. My chiropractor recommended it. That's one that I am trying right now. I'll let you know how it goes. I take a prenatal vitamin because I am nursing, and I take electrolytes and salt pills. Those are like the main ones I take. I try other ones occasionally, but I'm not a big supplement taker, so I don't know. Again, I'm not saying you should take these supplements. That's just what I take. Okay, how do you approach getting sleep with 24/7 chronic pain and your gut not letting up? Can't fall asleep, stay asleep, restless. Okay. Yeah, sleep. Y'all, I'm still learning that. I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to sleep for a lot of different reasons. Just a lot of reasons. I have a lot of anxiety about sleep. I get night terrors, and then of course pain, right? So I have a very calming night routine that I do. I will link that video down below, or if I forget, let me know in the comments, because sometimes I forget to link videos. But that really helps. Just having like it's long. It's like a 2-hour night routine, which I know is kind of excessive, but when you struggle with sleep so much, you'll do anything to sleep, right? And so for me, it's just worth it to like take a really long night routine. And so that's what I do, is I spend a lot of time preparing myself for bed. And then when it comes to pain, I like ice packs. My favorite is Relief Pack. I will link them down below. They're not like the ice packs where they're icy cold and it's like too cold. And then once they're not cold, they're just like nothing, right? You know what I'm saying? They're like a nice medium chill the whole time. So I love those because they're easy to sleep with. So I get a lot of migraines. I have one right now. It's really fun. But I put those on my head at night and it helps a lot because they're just, I don't know, they're my favorite things. In fact, they actually sent me this product just to feature in a video. Like when I first started my channel, I had like no subscribers and they sent it to me and I was like, cool, free stuff. Cause I didn't really know how it worked back then. You know, I didn't really know. And I just thought, cool, that's awesome. Didn't really think anything of it. And then I like fell in love with them and I'm obsessed with them. And they don't sponsor me anymore or anything, but I use them. I mean, I used it last night. I'll probably use it again tonight. So that's my favorite ice pack. I sleep in an adjustable bed that has a vibration feature, and that really helps. I sleep with a fan on, and then I pray a lot, and I have my Kindle next to my bed where if I can't sleep, then I will read, and that will kind of get my mind off it. And yeah, that's what I do. But I'm not an expert because I still struggle with sleep, but it's getting better. So, you know. Okay, have you been tested? Okay, a lot of people ask me, have you been tested for Lyme's disease and EDS? Those are the two I get the most, Lyme's and EDS. And the answer is no, I don't have either of those, according to my knowledge. I don't have like the hypermobility of EDS. I don't have the classic EDS symptoms. And then, yes, I've been tested for Lyme's like 90 times, and it is always negative. And yet every single day someone comments on my video and is like, I think you have Lyme's disease. I think you have EDS, which is totally cool. Like they're just trying to help, but like, no, I don't. Okay. Okay. So this question is about my decluttering video. I said that I only had one plate, one bowl, one fork, one knife, one spoon for each person in our family, because I hate doing dishes. That's why. So, somebody asked me, if you have company over, what do you do if they need a plate? Now, first, let's just laugh because who has company over these days? Like, is that a thing? I don't remember the last time I did. But if we do, we use paper plates because I would have used those anyway, even if we had more plates, because I don't want to do other people's dishes. I don't even want to do my own dishes. I know that they are not the most eco-friendly thing to do. I get that. But it works for me, okay? So I'm sorry, but I do paper plates, paper products all the time because I don't have the energy to do more, okay? That's just the truth here. Okay, next question. Have you ever thought about writing a book? And someone else said, I recall you saying that you were going to start a podcast. Is that still happening? So yeah, people asking if I'm going to write a book about chronic illness and being happy, specifically was the one that this person asked. And yes. So first of all, podcast is still in the works. I actually plan to have it out at this point in time, but then life happens and yeah, just a lot of things have happened. And I am not the kind of person who likes to start something and not finish it. So I do not want to start a podcast until I'm 100% sure that I can keep up and do a new episode every week. So if I can't do that, then I'm not starting it. So sometime, in the next year or so, I'll probably start a podcast. Again, I am hopefully getting a part-time nanny. I should say it's not like a nanny. It's like a babysitter for like 6 hours a week max. Like that's probably what I'm doing. But if I end up being able to have more time and when my kids are older and all of that stuff, yes, I want to do a podcast, which mainly would be focused on just like mental, like mindset with chronic illness. And then, yes, I am going to write a book one day. That one I can't say when because I have a lot of things I want to do, if you can't tell. But yeah, eventually I do want to write a book about how to live chronically ill and be happy. I have a course on it, which is video content and like 110 page workbook. So it's sort of like a book. It's basically a book that has a lot of work pages in it where you can do stuff. So I will link that down below if you're interested. But I do want to write like a legit self-published book one day. Basically taking my course that I created and putting into a book form is kind of what I'm thinking. So yeah, I would love to write a book. It is on my to-do list. I have a lot of things that I want to do. I have a lot of plans for you guys. So if you guys want to support me in a free way, just watch the ads on my video. The more ads that you watch, the more money that I make that I can put back into providing more content for you guys. I did not start this to make money. That is actually like, I didn't even really know YouTubers made money at the time. But I do make a little bit of money now, and the more I make, the more that I can provide more content for you. The more I make, I can hire out a nanny. I can maybe one day in a dream world, I could hire out someone to clean my house. That is my dream. You guys, if I could have someone clean my house and just make videos for you guys all day, that's the dream. So if you want to support me for free, watch the ads on my videos. So yeah, I have a lot of things that are in the works for you guys, a lot of plans that I have for you to help you live a better life with chronic illness. But I'm in a busy stage of life right now. We're currently in the middle of moving. I have a baby and a toddler. And yeah, there's a lot going on, but at least you'll get YouTube videos for me every week from me. So that definitely will be happening. You'll always get videos from me. Okay. Wow. No, man, we did not get through even a fourth of the questions I had. Let's do one more. We'll do one more today, and then I will do a part 2 of this video. Oh my gosh, so many questions. Okay. How do you handle the summertime and heat intolerance with having kids, like going to parks, camping, swimming, etc.? So I've talked about this a lot. Well, I don't know. I feel like I've talked about it a lot, but I don't. I don't go out in the summer, okay? I really just don't. I have tried swimming. I've tried camping. I've tried all the things, and it's really, really hard for me. So I just don't do it. Our new house has a really nice yard, so I'm super excited to be able to have a place for my kids to play where I can be either like inside or be right outside with a fan on me or something. But we have a nice yard that goes straight out from the living room kitchen area, and I'm super excited about that because I'll be able to let my kids out and not be worried about them. Right now we don't have a great yard. Okay, we really don't have a yard. It's a long story, but I have to take them to the park, and so I have to be next to them the whole time because, you know, strangers, and it's really tall, and now I can control a little bit more if it's in my own backyard. So I'm excited about that. So that's one big thing. The other thing is I have other people take my kids swimming. So swimming is probably the hardest thing for me because I can't wear compression socks. And I know like once I'm in the water, I'm okay without my compression socks, but then there's the sun, right? So I've gone swimming inside. There's an indoor pool place near us that we've gone to a couple of times. But I get just exhausted just walking around. It's just bad. But usually I've just had someone else take my kids swimming. I don't feel comfortable having someone take them to like a legit swimming pool. Usually it's just like my parents in a backyard pool type situation. But like I don't think I'd feel comfortable sending my kids swimming somewhere that I wasn't there if it was deep, if that makes sense. So like little bits of swimming, I will send someone else. A couple times I have gone and I just use an umbrella and I sit in the water the whole time. So I did that a couple times. But yeah, I skip out on a lot of activities, and I just find different activities that I can do. So we find different stuff we can do in this fall and spring. That's our big time to do stuff. And summer is our time to stay inside. I know that's probably not the answer you were looking for, but it's a little too much for me. So that is part 1, you guys. Oh my gosh, we got through like a tiny bit of these questions. I have a ton more questions, so I'll do a part 2. Maybe we'll have to do a part 3. We'll have to see, but I'll see you in my next video.